on. All right.
Let me know. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still hear me? All right. Let's go. And I'm going to take back and I'm going to start from scratch. Listen, since I've been doing YouTube, whatever, I've met a few people within the industry. I've always said this time and time and again, and I've given you guys a lot of credible information in the past. Whether you choose to believe it or not, listen, don't hold that Joe Montana truth they can't give me. I remember the story that was on the internet, just like the rest of you guys, and I was just talking about the possibility that would be great. Don't shoot the messenger out. But anyway, I told you guys before E3 that Microsoft will be launching their next console in 2017. And again, I got called everything but a child of God. I even gave you guys proof for the Chinese company that were making the SoC chips for Microsoft's next console. And again, I got called everything but a child of God. Now, and I'm not here. Listen, I'm not here to stroke my ego or anything. Like I said, I met a few people. I also told you guys before the launch of Titanfall, when they were launching Titanfall. I guess, and I'm not claiming to be an industry insider. Also, crap, met some people, and it is what it is. Sometimes we get past a lot of things behind the scenes. Some things I don't talk about. Some things I do at the end of the day. I ain't trying to make nobody lose their job. I didn't even like that. But for those of you that pay attention, they just had the GDC, 2007, 17 last week or so. And Microsoft was there in full effect, touting the cloud and all these different things. And for a few select people, developers and stuff, Microsoft were actually, that's what I'm saying, that's what I was told. We're actually showing Project Scorpio behind closed doors. Maybe not, the actual console itself, but probably like a dev unit or whatever the case. And the things they're going to be able to achieve with this said hardware. Okay. And from the rip, before I get into the specs of the console, it's more powerful than 6.2TFLOPS. As of right now, it's about 6.2, maybe a little bit more come launch, but right now the minimum is about 6.2 teraflops. I would do it like this. I know I bring it up in front of my screen. Now I'm not going to share the screen with you. You know what I mean? But here, okay, the thing I didn't even know. I'm sorry, I didn't even know you guys could hear me. All right, here we go. All right. Now it's a long list of shit here, but these are the rumored specs. Coming from a developer. Now listen, this guy here is not my main man. I told you they work for one of the big three, but it's another guy's a developer, right? That crap knows, and we all know, whatever the goddamn case may be. SR5 Ryzen CPU at 2.8 gigahertz, 8 cores, 8 threads, AMD Vega, a custom GPU, 977 megahertz at right now 6.2 teraflops. Can be overclocked. I mean, by the time the console comes out, maybe about 6.3 or whatever the goddamn case. So right now, it is indeed 6.2 teraflops. 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM at over 320 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth. It's a lot of goddamn memory bandwidth. Will run all games at PC Ultra quality, equivalent to native 4K 60. It's a big, bold statement right there. It says here, hear me out. Don't shoot the messenger, I shout. The Xbox Scorpio is using a brand new, completely custom console-only specific architecture that is using all new rendering methods. Basically, what they're saying, I'm not going to, for those who are not too tech savvy, no, I mean, so basically, with this Vega and Ryzen, they're able to use all the goddamn mustard on the hot dog. You know what I mean? All of it. So everything that's there, they're going to be able to use it for gaming. You know what I mean? Like I said, for consoles, one thing about consoles they have over PCs is optimization. But even better, the specs and stuff that are in this console and this new technology that they have, whether it's newer or whatever, they're able to get all the goddamn, you know, all of the juice, you know what I mean, more or less. It says ultra efficient, almost zero latency communication between the CPU and GPU, which allows for nearly a 60% higher graphic rendering performance when compared to what's currently available on PC graphics card. I'm gonna say this again, which this is very, very important. Okay. That is using a new rendering method which allows for an ultra efficient, almost zero latency communication between the system CPU and GPU, which allows for a nearly 60% higher graphical render performance when compared to what's currently available on PC graphics cards and current gen consoles. The new architecture essentially allows for the Scorpio to take 6 teraflops worth of GPU compute power and render the 6 teraflops at 60% higher than that of the exact same PC graphics card. So basically, what they're saying, whatever graphics card that you got out there in the world today, GTX, whatever, AMD's, you know, Radeon, whatever, that basically the same, whatever the 60 flops and the same 60 flops that are in the GPU that's inside Project Scorpio, it's going to outperform it by 60% at minimum. Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge. So, basically, like I said in the day, it says, I'm going to get a little bit more. It said PC graphics cards in the PC, which means that the Scorpio 6 teraflops of GPU compute power is equivalent to a 9.6 PC graphics card. The custom architecture was developed in collaboration between Microsoft and AMD. It's been rumored forever that Microsoft funded some of the R&D from AMD. And I get you like this: you got AMD and you got NVIDIA, right? The video, you know, comes out, like I said, with the more powerful cars year after year. AMD, not so much. AMD has the, I would say this, AMD has the tech on their side, but they don't have the R&D, research and development. Whereas NVIDIA got, they can just keep having, AMD not so much, you know what I mean? But like I said, so you know what I mean, with a little money behind them. Remember, it was about 2 years ago, it was rumored that Microsoft was looking to acquire AMD and their stocks went up, or whatever the case may be. That's how they're able to give you this new Vega, and they got the new Ryzen, you know, CPUs, which are shitting on Intel. But I'm not gonna get too much into spec. Let's get down to the juicy part where we're here to talk about the games. It says here, the Scorpio is also using 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory with 320 gigabytes. 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory with 320 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth. Those specs are exact specs and an exact hardware they're currently used inside the Xbox Scorpio dev kits, as they all are using early engineering samples of both the Ryzen and CPU and Vega GPU. Now listen to this. If you go back to what Phil said initially, and when he was talking about, you know, Sony was coming out with the PS4 Neo, whatever the case, he said he didn't want to do that. He wasn't a fan of that, you know what I mean? And that he wanted a true leap for us as far as technology. There was nothing stopping for Microsoft right now. What's on the market right now, putting out a console at 6 T-flops? Nothing. You know what I mean? That's when I gave you guys the video with proof. This is before Microsoft announced anything about the Scorpio, whatever goddamn case may be, that this Taiwanese company were making the SoC chips for, you know what I mean, I think it was on either 14 millimeter die, or I forgot what size of the millimeter or the die was. It's not even important. That was going to ship holiday 2017. I gave you all that. You guys didn't believe me. You guys do dog shit at my channel. I'm just, you know, saying, you know what I mean, the same motherfucker that told me about DirectX 12. I was talking about that on this channel here in November. No, I'm sorry, like December 2013. And I had all these guys, Rich Review Tech USA, and all these motherfuckers talking about something. DirectX 12 is not going to do shit for the Xbox One and this, that, and the other, and making shit up, and you can't change the hardware. And then Microsoft had GDC 2014, and they announced DirectX 12 for all their Windows 10 devices. But hey, shall I rise, right? Okay, scrolling further down, they says those currently used inside the Xbox Scorpio dev kits are using early engineering samples of both Ryzen and they get GPU. Also confirmed that currently, right now, developers have numerous games that are currently up and running on Xbox Scorpio dev kits. The games that I was told so far, which are being tested and benchmarked, are currently running at a native, this is very important, native 4K 60 on Xbox Scorpio dev kit. As follows: Doom is going to be 4K 60, with it's equivalent to PC Ultra, settings. That's with the better textures, lighting, and all that stuff. Battlefield 4K 60 with high, textures and stuff. Halo 5, no brainer, 4K 60. Witcher 3, 4K 60, equivalent to what's on the PC. Fallout 4, you've seen those guys there touting about when Microsoft announced Scorpio, they were there. Fallout 4 is going to be 4K 60 with high ultra PC textures. Those games are currently running 4K 60 on Xbox Scorpio dev kits. Man said these games also got confirmation from 2 different developers. And like I said, they showed these games running demo behind closed doors at GDC. Also have some other stuff here. Let me scroll up. Where we at? Got so much shit. I get so much junk. In here. Somebody this, somebody that. Here's a list of some more games. Doom, Witcher 3, Halo 5, Fallout 4, Battlefield 1, all running native. Said that on what's considered PC Ultra settings, those were all patched and not UWP. Microsoft had the UWP thing. So these games were patched and not using UWP. It says here Forza, Apex, Gears 4, Killer Instinct, and Recore are all UWP games that are confirmed running also native 4K, 60 frames per second on Scorpio, high PC textures, ultra settings. Now, with all that being said, and I don't really like to talk about the GPUs and the CPUs and the tech. That's not really my thing. Console do just like to talk about the juicy shit. Basically, what shut up, fucking PC. Basically, what we're dealing with here, games are gonna look. You have the Pro, right? We're just talking about consoles here. At a minimum, and I'm not even going to overshoot, but at a minimum, if you're taking the same multi-plat and comparing it to what's on the Pro, they're going to look about 50 to 60% better. You know what I mean? Which will be huge. I mean, now don't get me wrong, Sony has a huge lead out here in this console gaming environment. And people say, well, Microsoft doesn't have any games. And you guys see the PlayStation t-shirt, right? And you know what I mean? And again, I've always said this, like people always try to change their narrative, whatever. But we cannot forget, like I said, Sony's pride and joy. They've had the better version of the quote unquote multi-plats. So going forward, all these games that are coming out, whether it's Call of Duties, the Battlefields, the Star Wars Battlefronts, you name it, they're gonna all look better. I'm not saying. Here's the thing, and for console, which I always said this was stupid for console gamers to sit there and argue over resolution. Like I thought that shit was crazy. Now, graphics, on the other hand, is something totally different. Resolution does not give you better graphic, but we're talking about better textures, better shaders, better lighting. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. Now, you look at the PS4 Pro, which I have one, which is dope. I have a PS4 Pro. And we're talking about a console that indeed is 4.2 teraflops, much more powerful than the standard vanilla PlayStation 4. But one of the main hindrance of the PS4 Pro is the memory bandwidth in the CPU, because they can't give you higher textures, better textures, like PC textures, the high resolution one, and a resolution. And like I always said that I would rather have better graphics and then just have a higher resolution and just let the goddamn console upscale to 4K. You know what I mean? Maybe Sony may change that when the Scorpio comes out. You know what I mean? I would rather them just give me better graphics, and just 1080p 60, you know what I mean, if they can, or 1080p 30, I don't care. And just let the goddamn console upscale to 4K. But they're doing 1400p or then 1800p, you know what I mean? It's, you know what I mean? Who the fuck has a 1400p TV? Who the fuck has an 1800p TV? You know what I mean? Just give me 1080p 60 and better graphics, fine. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. But it's at the end of the day, that's what I would want. You know what I mean? Could you imagine, like, at the end of the day, you look at a beautiful game like Horizon Zero Dawn, beautiful game, right? Could you imagine they just did 1080p 60 and just let it upscale whatever to 4K and gave us better textures? That would be sick, right? Also, too, I'm hearing no, I saved that for another video because I'm a big God of War fan. Got some news, some juicy info on God of War 4. But what do you guys feel about this? The Xbox Scorpio. I'm assuming that it's going to be probably about $499. It's not going to be more than $500. It's going to be about $499. Oh, if you guys didn't hear me before, you said my mic was not going to come back. I was saying I picked this up here. Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom. You don't even go to goddamn GameStop. It's like $30 there. But this is just the GameStop, I guess, has a deal with Capcom. They're the only ones selling it right now. I didn't know the goddamn game was coming out. Only one of them selling the actual physical copy. You know what I mean? So I actually just installed it behind me to play that for a little while. But what are your guys' thoughts about, Project Scorpio? Like I said, Microsoft, we're showing some, dance behind closed doors, and shit comes out all the goddamn time. It is what it is. But I'm excited. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm a graphics whore, man. I'm a graphics whore. I love graphics. You know what I mean? I love graphics. Love it. Let me ask what's the actual video. What do you guys think about that? So a lot of games, which I said they would Microsoft should do, like a lot of games that got slammed at the early part of this generation, whether it's Rise for being 900p or Sunset Overdrive for being 900p. Microsoft should go back. You know what I mean? Especially if they're they first party IPs, whatever it can, not that strong this holiday season or whatever it and they're gonna pull a Sony or pull a 360 and depend highly on multiplayer, which is cool with that. They should go back and because a lot of people just got the Xbox One last year, it's just getting this year, and they got a lot of great games that they can go back and play. You know what I mean? Max Curse with Brotherhood, which was a very good game. Sunset Overdrive, probably one of my best games that came out this generation. I'm a big fan of Rise. That was dope. Go back and make all that shit 4K 60 and with better, textures. Oh my god, that would be fucking sick. They can sell them shits all over again. You know what I mean? $20. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know what I mean? $20, whatever the fuck. Nobody's buying that shit now. They will, they shut shit down with that here. But that's dope shit though. It's dope shit. I'm excited. I'm excited. So are there already several games that have already released that just like the same thing with Sony and for the old saying, no, they're not. Same thing Sony did when they released the Pro. A lot of developers went back and patched their titles to take advantage of the Pro. Here's a prime example. Shadow of Mordor went back to the old last game, patched just to take advantage of the Pro. So don't be surprised if Microsoft does the same thing. If they're smart, they will. You know what I mean? All the goddamn things that Microsoft got teased about at the start of this generation. The 720p box. Oh, that should look good. God damn, that should look good. Got to hop on that. The 720p box or 900p and all this shit, like the Division, all those older games they didn't get 1080p. Nah, fuck you. We're gonna make these bitches. We're gonna make these motherfuckers 4K. You guys can see my t-shirt. I'm sorry, I muted myself. Like I said, I don't know if you guys can see my t-shirt. I got a fucking PlayStation t-shirt. Got it at GameStop today. Guy gave it. So it's crazy as hell, right? For my little ass channel, everybody know fucking next gen. He's like, here, bro. I give you a free t-shirt. Wear it in your video. So shout out to you, Matt. I got your t-shirt on right now in the video, man. Shout out to you. But also, like I said, thank you. Also, listen, I won't say pony, but I need a Sony guy. Not no weirdo shit. We're looking for a Sony guy to join BGST. Not no troll, not to be arguing. somebody that can call Sony out for their bullshit, not just be up that motherfucker, being a Sony dick licker, you know what I mean? We just need somebody that can speak well. Um, you know, I don't need nobody from Nigeria talking about, with a bunch of I'm bugging the fuck out. Then somebody had the nerve to call me a racist. Me? I'm a fucking Irish looking at black man with reddish hair and freckles. Me? How the fuck I'm gonna be racist? My wife's Hispanic and shit. Your boy been stressed up. Your boy been stressed out, man. Donald Trump is trying to deport my mother-in-law. True story. You know what I mean? But for real, so we're looking for a Sony guy, that can call Sony out. Well, not but if there's something wrong, I'm not saying get up in the show just bash Sony. That's not what I'm saying. Just have, like I said, we're gonna do something new on BGST. We're gonna, make time for the show to evolve. You know what I mean? But we're looking for a Sony guy, maybe even a Nintendo guy. But right now we need a Sony guy that can be optimistic. You know what I mean, and not just say, well, it was the consumer's fault. If Sony kept their money, they should have just bought. Like, we don't need none of that weird shit. No damage control. We need the real. So, oh yeah, I said that crap. Yeah, crap shit. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So the games that I did name, these games were patched to take advantage of Project Scorpio. These are not none of the UWP games. Now, Shadow Mordor, that is a UWP gameplay where if you don't know what UWP, developers can save a lot of money. They can make one game with one code, and with the UWP, it will scale up or scale down according to your system's, whether your PC specs or your console specs, whether you're on the OG Xbox One or if you're on a Scorpio, it'll scale up or scale down. Or if you're on a PC with $12,000, you know, bugging the fuck out, it will scale up and scale down. You know what I mean? So so looking for a lot of, like I said, exclusive that may have came out in the past. For Quantum, could you imagine Quantum Break, 4K 60, with PC textures? Oh, because Quantum Break got slammed for having a 1080p buffer in the actual game being not native 720p, but you don't have the 1080p, buffer, whatever the case may be. Quantum Break's a great game. You got it. If you just got an Xbox One and you don't have the game, you probably pick that shit up for like $15. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like $15. But anyway, I will be live streaming tonight. If you guys want to come rock out with me, I'm gonna get back to doing this live stream like I did. Yeah, they have it digitally, I believe, right now in the store. But if you don't know, I had a little fire and I lost a lot of the games and stuff that I had. So that's why I've been buying more physical. Now I don't really go to GameStop. I go to Best Buy. I got the Gamers Unlocked, so I get all brand new games. I think for like $46 or $47. But this game here is for brand new. I think it was like $25 or some shit like that, or whatever the goddamn case may be. But they dolled it up a little bit for the next generation consoles. That's what you see behind me. I'm going to hop on it. But anyway, actually, hey, you guys got a few questions in here for me before I get the hell up out of here? My man Hacky Sax says, you're a child of God. I'm from the hood and I keep hearing people say I'm going to die tonight. Clip rolling, shit stolen, locking, loading. Somebody gotta die tonight. All right. I got a question. You got a few questions. You guys got any questions about the Scorpio? Life is but a dream, roll your boat. Your blood forms a stream. Yeah, I'm gonna do another thing about the PS5. Like, Sony's not releasing the PlayStation 5 in 2018. They just released the goddamn PS4 Pro. 5 months ago? Slim about 5 months ago. PlayStation VR about 5 months ago. They're not gonna do that. They would literally eat themselves. Let me tell you this: for those that are wishful thinking, Sony doesn't have an incentive to release another console. Why? Because the PlayStation 4 is excelling extremely well. You know what I mean? So why come out with another console and kill the sales of the PlayStation 4 with a PlayStation 5? Like, just think, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's at the end of the day, you know. What it says, Z, what do you think about the augmented reality that Microsoft is bringing the Xbox? You know what? I think it'd be dope at the end of the day. Like I said, I wanted to try PlayStation VR, but I'm not paying $500 for a goddamn. I'm not. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, with VR, augmented reality, all that shit, like those things, like I've always said, will probably shine once developers like with the indie scene get their hands on it and start making like $20 games and all that shit like that. Probably so. But it depends on the pricing. You know what I mean? Like I said, the problem with the PlayStation VR, this is no hate or slander. They're releasing a peripheral that costs more than the actual console. And again, yes, you're gonna have the diehards go out and buy it day one. But like I've always told you guys, us the diehards, day one guys, we don't bring these companies any money. It's the casuals. You know what I mean? Casual not going out that motherfucker to spend $500 to play rigs. You know what I mean? Like people said what they wanted about the Connect. Yes, it was a fucking gimmick. Hate it. But it was $100, $150, and they had some must have software, you know, like the Just Dance, the Connect Sports, and the PlayStation VR doesn't have that. And I know you asking me about Microsoft, what they're doing. I'm just telling you in the whole. You know what I mean? Protos X said a PS5 could destroy Scorpio. What? And I'm gonna say this again. Why would Sony release a PlayStation 5 and 28 next year when the PlayStation 4 is still selling very well? Makes no sense. That's what happened to Sega. You can't just keep releasing hardware. They're going to, all right. I give it to you like this. This is basic business 101. Do you know why the PlayStation VR is not really selling well? It's because Sony released a slim VR than the PlayStation 4 Pro. If Sony was smart, they would have just released either. We really didn't need a slim, but I understand the slim is cheaper to make. If they wouldn't put out the slim, fine, and then maybe they don't just do the Pro and release the PlayStation VR and maybe like March and had most, and had a bigger, so we get more games to come out and support it. You don't hear about nothing else really coming out supporting the VR. It was just too much hardware within a month and a half. Now, what if you didn't have a PlayStation, right? And you wanted, to try VR? So I had to go out and spend $400 for the console to get the best experience because it does look better on the Pro graphically and everything. And I got to spend $500 for the unit. That's not really practical. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So yeah, and plus, again, Sony's not going to release a PlayStation 5. They still got games that AAA games that they're, like I said, touted to come out. They got the Spider-Man, No Days Gone. They got maybe God of War might be releasing this year. So I was told. So yeah, you're not going to see a PlayStation. The earliest you're going to see a PlayStation 5 from Sony is they're going to probably show it in. They may show it in maybe E3 2018, give you a glimpse, and it'll release the following year in 2019, or I say by 2019, 2020, you'll see a PlayStation 5 at the end of the day. Only time it maybe come out for that if the sales of the PS4 Pro, so that should start selling like the Wii U. Other than that, Sony right now, like I said, you don't have an incentive to release a PlayStation 5. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Anybody got anything else to say before I get the hell out of here? Z, do you hear Microsoft has the marketing? Yes, Microsoft has the marketing rights for Shadow of Mordor. It's a UWP, play anywhere, dope shit. Did you see the in play? Did you see the fucking in game gameplay? My God, if that's in small addiction of what the Scorpio can do, I'm fucking ecstatic, man. Jesus, that goddamn game was beautiful. You know what I mean? Anything else? If I get the hell up out of here, do. Well, that's right. But anyway, I guess I go back to say we're looking for a PlayStation guy, more or less, Sony dude. That's not a weirdo. To join BGST, not to be arguing and all that dumb shit. just to, just to have, we doing a podcast. You know what I mean? If Sony does something wrong, I don't need no motherfucker up there, trying to spin that shit. Like, I mean, just keep it real. Hit crap up on Twitter. That's crap, baby. They'll let them handle that. But anyway, this is your boy Next Gen 720. I'm out of here, man. Thank you for rocking out with me. If you guys want to play some Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, hit me up. I will be on. I'm from the hood and I keep paper. People say I posted down and click roll. I'm bugging the fuck out. I'm out of here, man. Bang.